In this intriguing film, a mysterious spirit named A wakes up each day in the body of a different teenager, experiencing life from a new perspective. One day, A awakens in the body of a teenager named Justin, who sets 2 alarms on his cell phone. We meet Justin's girlfriend, Rhiannon, whom he often neglects. Rhiannon clearly puts a lot of effort into their relationship from the start, whereas Justin only pretends to be present. We see that Justin has not responded to any of her messages from the night before. On the other hand, she continues to check her phone for his response. After getting ready, she departs for school with her sister Jolene. Meanwhile, Justin, possessed by A, arrives at school but does not recognize any of his friends. Later, Rhiannon approaches Justin and apologizes for texting him so many times last night. She believes Justin is upset with her and, as usual, takes her for granted, but to her surprise, Justin apologizes and says he should have texted back, which cheers Rhiannon up. As their conversation progresses, Rhiannon persuades A to skip school with her, and the two leave in Justin's car. After singing together in the car, the couple arrives at the beach. Rhiannon believes Justin is acting out of character and is carefree, which is unusual for him. However, for fear of ruining everything, she does not say anything. Rhiannon eventually confides in her troubled home life as a result of her father's mental breakdown, which almost cost her family their home. As a result, he has left his job, and her mother must work part-time. She also reveals that her father spends most of his time painting faces. Hearing this, A calmly explains to her that sometimes all a person needs is a break. Rhiannon listens quietly and feels better after opening up to him, and they kiss. Later that day, A drops her off at home. As they part, A mentions that tomorrow will be different and she might not feel the same way again. But Rhiannon responds that tomorrow is tomorrow and that today should end on a positive note. Rhiannon feels a rekindled love for Justin, who appears to be more caring and different. The following day, A awakens in the body of a girl named Amy. She takes another picture and sets 2 alarms on her phone, just like she did in Justin's body. She changes schools and enrolls at Rhiannon's. Then she goes to school and asks Rhiannon to be her shadow because she is new there. Rhiannon decides to keep her as her shadow. In science class, she introduces Amy to a friend named Rebecca, as well as her lab partner Alexander, who has a crush on Rhiannon. Meanwhile, she realizes Justin has reverted to his old careless self and has forgotten the previous day. When Justin becomes angry with Rhiannon, Amy intervenes and insults him. Rhiannon is taken aback by this, but Justin reminds her about the party and leaves. After Justin leaves, Amy apologizes to Rhiannon, saying she deserves better, and affectionately moves Rhiannon's hair behind her ear. Weirded by this, she leaves, asking Alexander to care for Amy. The following day, A wakes up as Nathan and sets 2 alarms as usual. Rhiannon, who had gone to a party with Justin at a friend's house, feels alone and plays the song they listened to in the car, but does not receive the expected reaction. Soon, A arrives at the party and discovers Rhiannon, who has been abandoned by Justin. Both of them begin dancing together, and Nathan introduces himself as Steve's cousin. While Nathan and Rhiannon are having fun, Justin arrives and inquires about him. Nathan simply replies that he is Steve's gay cousin. After hearing this, the possessive Justin relaxes and returns to his friends. Later, A takes Rhiannon to a side house in the garden where they share a heartfelt conversation. A and Rhiannon eventually bond again, as he tells her she deserves better. Meanwhile, Justin learns that Steve does not have a cousin and becomes suspicious of Nathan. Just then, A's alarm goes off while he is sitting near Rhiannon, and he flees, while Justin tries to chase him away. The next day, when Rhiannon arrives at school, she sees Justin and a group of other students discussing the news. According to the news, Nathan claims to have been possessed by a demon, which caused him to lose consciousness. That day, A wakes up in the body of a blind person. That is why he is unable to do anything and cannot meet Rhiannon. The next day, Rhiannon receives a message from an unknown number asking her to meet the person in a bookstore. She believes this must be Nathan. Not knowing what to do, her friend Rebecca persuades her to go. Rhiannon agrees and heads to the bookstore, hoping to meet Nathan there. A appears as Megan, claiming that Justin, Amy, and Nathan were all his, and admitting that he has fallen in love with her. He explains to her that he is a traveling spirit who awakens in a different body each day. The body is always the same age, but he never gets the same body twice, and he has no say over it. Rhiannon thinks it's a joke, but as she prepares to leave, A repeats the fortune he found in the fortune cookie and reminds her of her father. However, Rhiannon dismisses it as a prank and leaves. Initially hesitant, Rhiannon agrees to meet with A the following day. Now in James's body, A reveals that he has shifted bodies every day since infancy. Rhiannon questions him to put an end to her suspicions, but A answers all of them easily. Eventually, A shows Rhiannon a private Instagram account with pictures taken in each person's body he has been in, through which she can communicate with him. Rhiannon, on the other hand, continues to doubt him and requests more time before departing. After much reflection on the incident, she goes to see Nathan the next day and asks him about the day he thought he was possessed by the devil. Rhiannon is now convinced that whatever A is claiming is real. The next day, while walking to school with Justin and Rebecca, Rhiannon notices a transgender man named Vic coming to order. She realizes it's A and pursues them. A tells her once more that meeting Rhiannon gave him a special feeling. A persuades Rhiannon to give him a chance, arguing that it is the soul that is important, not the body. Rhiannon decides to meet with A again after some consideration. On the same day, she visits Justin's house to study. She tests him by asking him what he remembers about the day they went to the beach. However, Justin provides irrelevant responses to the events. The next day, Rhiannon keeps messaging A throughout the day. Then she meets him at a library after school. A tells Rhiannon that he has been in this condition since childhood, but only became aware of it when he was 6. He also tells her that in all these years he has never met anyone like him. They eventually kiss, but are interrupted when the host mother arrives. Rhiannon is forced to leave, but she does so with a smile. Next, A, surprised to awaken in Rhiannon's body, sees it as an opportunity to learn more about her. He promises to respect Rhiannon's privacy and life by not breaking up with Justin or staring at her naked body. Throughout the day, A forms bonds with Rhiannon's mother, sister, and father. After returning from school, A spends time with Rhiannon's father. He asks her father why he paints. He tells him that when he started his job, he stopped painting, but now he values it more than ever. He also offers A to paint, which he accepts. At the end of the day, A writes a letter to Rhiannon. He writes that he did his best to leave all of the memories for Rhiannon before falling asleep. The next day, Rhiannon finally finds the courage to end her relationship with Justin. She immediately calls A to schedule a weekend trip to her Uncle Calvin's cabin. In Xavier's body, Aya discusses the day spent in Rhiannon's body. Rhiannon then tells him that leaving a mark could be beneficial because others will be aware of A's existence. However, he feels obligated to leave people's memories intact. When Rhiannon asks why he can't stay in one body for more than a day, he explains that at midnight, the body pushes the soul out. Rhiannon suggests he push back once, but A tells her it is not his property, which is why he has never tried it. At the end of the day, A kisses Rhiannon goodbye and promises to return the next day after changing her body. The next day, Rhiannon waits for him, but he does not return. As a result, Rhiannon is forced to call her mother to come pick her up. Throughout the day, she texts A but receives no response. The next day, A awakens as a boy named Michael, who is leaving the country. He immediately calls Rhiannon and asks her to pick him up before jumping off the balcony to escape. Rhiannon soon takes A to her home and asks why he didn't contact her the day before, to which he responds that his body was undergoing a lung transplant. Rhiannon and A become more intimate over time, promising to figure out how to keep their relationship together. The following day, A awakens in the body of suicidal teen Kelsey. Rhiannon becomes increasingly isolated from her friends and classmates at school, presumably as a result of her multiple relationships. Later, she meets A and discovers Kelsey's suicidal tendencies. Rhiannon persuades A to try to keep Kelsey's body alive for more than 24 hours in order to alert Kelsey's father to her situation. A is initially hesitant, but eventually agrees to Rhiannon's request. Fortunately, he is successful in staying inside Kelsey's body and asks her father for assistance. The next day, A awakens in the body of Rhiannon's classmate Alexander. When he sees his room, he is very impressed by his upbeat attitude. Later that day, when he meets Rhiannon at school, he lavishes Alexander with praise. That day, they spent the day together and had a great time. Later that night, Rhiannon persuades A to stay in Alexander's body so that they can be together. So for the next few days, he remains in Alexander's body. To accomplish this, A does not sleep at night because sleeping causes him to jump into another body. He seizes the opportunity and spends a significant amount of time with Rhiannon. They're both very happy and completely lost in their own beautiful world. When the two return to Alexander's house, they discover that his family has prepared dinner for his birthday and is waiting for him. Rhiannon realizes that she must leave after seeing them. Shortly after, A is chastised by Alexander's mother, and he begins to feel guilty about controlling Alexander's life. At that point, he realizes that, while this may work temporarily, he is unwilling to permanently take over someone else's life. A, alone with Rhiannon at Alexander's house, tells her that they can't really be together forever. He tells Rhiannon that they should end their relationship because it is causing so much pain to others. She tries to persuade him otherwise, suggesting that they should keep doing this. But A questions her. They might continue this relationship right now, but what will happen in 10 years? When would they marry? Who will she marry? She can't conceal his identity indefinitely. Eventually, A suggests that Alexander is ideal for Rhiannon and would be keeping her out of his life. Rhiannon and A dance and talk as they wait for midnight, knowing it's their last night together. A tells her that this is the nice note, referring to Rhiannon's comment to Justin about ending their day on a good note. The following day, A awakens in another body and drives to New York, while Rhiannon meets Alexander at school. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.